as Japan continued to object to the claim by China's top diplomat Wang Yi that Tokyo was returning to militarism, saying that it did not reflect reality. Of course, the foreign minister for Japan, Toshimitsu Motegi, said on 14th February that Mr. Wang's comment was not based on facts, and his ministry followed up with a social media post on the 15th reinforcing his view. So at this moment, there's a narrative being thrown between the two sides, Japan and China, and of course the Chinese side has reminded Japan of the World War II aggression that we've seen because of militarism. So I want to understand from Ali Ahmed, as you were hearing Norman Floyd Burns, your outlook for the remainder of the year.
One has to think of historical and other things dispassionately. Japan, of course, prior to the Second World War, was a militaristic nation, aggressive. They occupied most of the neighboring countries, and China is such a vast country, but they could not occupy the whole of China, but they occupied a major part of the China bordering the Pacific, and they ruled it for a long time. And there were serious bombing in Nanking. Our poet Jivananda Das has also written a poem on this. So China has, Japan had been, has been in the past a militaristic nation, aggressive. But then most of the countries prior to the Second World War peace was sort of aggressive, because it was a result of its aggressive policies of the European countries plus Japanese aggressiveness brought about this. And China was very peaceful and supine and not a power at the time. So that is why. But now that America is retreating to its own hemisphere, as America himself or herself claims it. So China was compulsorily made a neutered nation. Armed forces were limited, no navy, no air force, nothing. Now that America's umbrella has been taken out by Donald Trump, and now that the world has taken a turn for the worse, Europe is rearming very vigorously because of America's retreat from NATO. So that is the reason why everybody is arming, and Japan is a large enough economy and no good military. I am against militarism anywhere. I am against armed forces like this. But then, considering the reality of the world, if everybody is rearming and preparing for an eventual or possible war, why shouldn't Japan do it? Japan has the right to do so. China should not be unhappy about this.
Of course.
They should improve relations.
Mr. Tariq Rahman had visited his opposition members or his competition inside the parliament into their residences to understand the exclusivity of how Bangladesh sees the coming days and how this government shall be taking the steps to understand where Bangladesh stands in the international geopolitical arena, because I believe, or it seems to be, a reset of ties between our immediate neighbors India as well as Pakistan, China, and those who have bordered us, as well as Nepal and Bhutan and Myanmar. So coming back to the issue that we were discussing regarding border skirmishes from around the world, at this moment the Bangladeshi economy is relying on factors of two important factors. One is, of course, the RMG, ready-made garments export from Bangladesh to the entire global markets, as well as the remittance warriors who have made sure of the reserve balance of Bangladesh remain in a very proper level. So yesterday, Mr. Tariq Rahman, or the day before, was questioning or answering various questions regarding from international at a news conference. So that is holding very importance as international affairs on this platform. We understand that Bangladesh is the cornerstone of geopolitics inside this region. I say that because we have heard many things over the weekend, and I want to understand how Ali Ahmed feels about the coming times. From one instance, I know that the leader, Mr. Tariq Rahman, may have his foreign visit to first visit to China. So still not sure, as we understand that the oath-taking ceremony is said to be happening tomorrow. So I want to understand how Ali Ahmed feels about our region.
Well, one has to be, politics is a game of reality. You cannot be emotional, you cannot be sentimental. Your own personal likings and dislikings have to be set aside and think of the overall development, overall friendship of the country. As the Prime Minister, Mr. Tariq Rahman has to think of that, as any Prime Minister has to. So, for the welfare of the country, Bangladesh, being the geopolitical situation, having India on all sides except the Bay of Bengal, and China almost on our neck over there, these both have been friendly countries to us. But for mishandling of political incidents locally in the country, we lean too closely to India, angering our people. So, there has been this outburst and the ouster of the previous Prime Minister. There should be a balanced, friendly relation between Bangladesh and India, between China and India, Bangladesh. If possible, we should try to unite them, but that may not be possible. That is too far cry, because they are now world powers and they have their world ambitions, and America is there at the back. Therefore, these countries' leaders and people also must think of try striking a good, balanced politico-economic relations with both India and China, as well as with the rest of the world, and especially with the neighbors, of course, all the neighbors. That is a must. If you balance, if you tilt more to one side, if you anger the other, that is bad for the country. We want Chinese assistance, Chinese technology, Chinese many things, and also India's trade and everything. We must be friendly with all.
Of course, and that hand of friendship must be extended to all of our neighbors. There is a level of concern that we might look forward to in the coming days. Of course, Tariq Rahman has been very clear in saying that it is a Bangladesh first policy that he is trying to implement through his party,
in
the
fact,
Bangladesh
it is very
Nationalist Party.
intelligently saying nothing, saying everything without saying anything.
Very less is more. The design strategy in almost all aspects is less is more. The less you say, the more impact you have. The less you wear, the more impact you have in designing terms. And I am a core believer that less is always more. But one of the issues that I want to bring out, because we are talking about our region, the relationship between India and China. Of course, it is important to understand in multiple fronts.
There is a global rivalry.
It's a global rivalry, and it's not only military issues that come up with border disputes. It's also manufacturing issues. Most manufacturing houses have moved away from China into India for lower labor costs. And I believe that we capitalized on the lower labor salaries in Bangladesh regarding garments that have gone out as well.
There are many things. We need a good, democratic and peaceful atmosphere in the country, law and order being good, then China and many others will come. We have to ensure our home turf, and then you will see investment will come in so many ways from so many sectors. That is the most important thing, making it a law-abiding. Mr. Tariq Rahman, the incoming Prime Minister, he said that, we should have go by law, and he used this word a few times. Rule of law. That it is a very tough thing, easier said than done. In the past, I said before and I say it now, till now, no government, and I say no government since the liberation of Bangladesh has ever ensured or tried to ensure the rule of law. So, no government. Now that this relatively young leader comes with his, of course, many questionable past and all that, but if he really means what he now says, and the way he said, the country is going to head towards a peaceful and developing run, definitely. But if he changes, if he cannot maintain it, then of course future will be uncertain. But we believe he will be able to